Okay, it looks like a mess. I was going to clean this out. Um, my last video I showed where I had all this lower paneling and everything taken out. I still had the carpet in it, but I had all the upper in there and I didn't know how I was going to get it out. Well, I got it out. I just took a drill bit and driver up there and removed as many screws as I could and ripped out the rest, and it's all out. So that's what the fiberglass top looks like on the inside. It has some wood that is glued into it with the fiberglass. You can see that. And I'll be able to put insulation up there and screw paneling into that wood. That's all I'm going to have up there. And on these sides right here is insulation and wood paneling. Now the wiring, there was wiring that went all the way around here for all the lights. There must have been 20 lights in here, little lights. And I've got all that wiring out pretty much, except there's some hanging there. I don't know what that is. I'll figure it out. Well, that's the lights that come back for my brake lights and tail lights. I had to cut all that loose from that big harness right there. And I just ripped out this off of the ceiling in the driver's cab there. That was all the controls for the lights. I may be able to use those switches again, but I'm not going to put as many lights in here as that had. I think I'm going to do something just totally different. I'll be able to use that wiring, but it all goes down in that little panel right there alongside right there. That thing, I got to pull that off. I got my battery charging up right now on the drill, but I got to figure out how to separate those wires so I don't lose my brake lights, and just isolate that from all these other lights. And then I'll just reuse that harness. It's got fittings. They're all labeled for the lights. There's a cigarette lighter, there's 3 or 4 of them throughout the back here that you can use. But like I said, I'm going to put auxiliary batteries in here, and sorry about all the squiggly work. I hate it when people do that, and here I am doing it. So it's coming along slow but sure. I've still got a couple things to get out, like that piece there. I have to reach underneath. I got to get a deep well socket to be able to remove the nuts on the bottom. There's 2 there and 2 there, and then that piece that goes across right here, that I was going to try to take out, but I went underneath and I can't really see the bolts because there's a huge, my fuel tank, I got a 30-gallon fuel tank that comes all across this side here, and then there's an exhaust. The exhaust comes through here, so I couldn't tell where the bolts were laying on my back with just a couple inches clearance. So I think I'm just going to leave that in there. That's what the 2 rear seats went onto. I'm just going to, all I'm going to do is put, I found some sound deadening board / insulation combo. It's a black 4x8 board that I'm going to use on the inside for the whole thing. I'm going to put that in to deaden the sound, and then I'll insulate it. I'm going to put some framing in here, but I'm not really going to glue anything down to the floor of this. I see a lot of people, they glue it and they screw it, and I think once I get it in there, it'll be heavy enough, it's going to stay. And then when I build my little wall framing over here, that'll go on top of the wooden floor, and that'll hold those edges down. But I'm going to frame that up. I'm thinking about even framing these windows, because when you insulate this whole van, you still got these 2 windows there, you got another one over here, and a lot of people just put Reflectex on there. I think what I'm going to do is frame it out where I can put an actual 2-foot by 3-foot sliding window in there. I can get them for $47, I think, at Menards, and that way that'll allow me some kind of insulation there on that part. So I haven't decided for sure yet, but I think my bed is going to go all across this side here, with a little bit up front up here with cabinet space, and then I'll have cabinets over here, and maybe even build some across the top up there. I'll have some storage up there above the driver's seats, and I'll probably put the batteries behind the driver's seat over here, and then I'll have the switches up there somewhere, probably on this when I build my cabinet in here, I'll probably have the switches on there because the batteries will be underneath. I'm still not decided for sure on that. I've been thinking on this for a long time. But anyway, I'm not going to remove the heater and air conditioning from the rear. I'm going to leave that in there. That may come in handy down the road. It's just too much trouble to take that out. And I can open up a whole new can of worms on air conditioning leaks and coolant leaks, so I'm just going to leave that on there. It works fine. So that's where I'm at. Today, I need to haul. I got to move out of where I'm living at within the next, by the end of the month, I think. Or at least within a few weeks. So I've got to get everything out of this house, into my storage, except what I'm going to keep. I'll leave that in the van. I want to get the floor in and at least maybe the walls insulated before I take off. I won't get the bed built or anything, but I have a cot that I can sleep on. And I got my stoves that I can cook on if I have to. But I start a job on Monday. I haven't worked in over a year and a half, year and 9 months. I retired January of 2018. And I'm starting a full-time job. I'll be driving. I'll be delivering people to their medical appointments and maybe some school kids too in the morning. Contract with the city to kids, underprivileged kids that are living at City Mission. They have to get to their schools. I used to do that when I drove a taxi, but this is for a private transportation company. Anyway, I'm going to do that for, I haven't told them yet, but at least through November, maybe into December, but I want to get out of here before winter. If I have to stay in this town that I'm in, then I'm going to live in here as long as I can, but I may end up having to rent, if I stay over the winter, rent somewhere indoors because it gets pretty cold here. Anyway, that's where I'm at. It looks like a mess, and it is, but I just got to clean up. I got to figure out where to separate those wires and get the rest of those out of here, and then start cleaning up the floor and put the floor insulation in. So that's where I'm at. I'll make another video when I get a little farther along. Thanks for watching.